Hey everybody, it's Lee, and this is Let Us Say It For You.
And it's I was gonna go
and so you can cough.
On TikTok. Oh. Yes. No. And it's Big Mike in his house.
What and it's Big Mike's in his house. Big Mike.
Big
Mike in his house, and this is our first episode of the year.
Hey, yay. 2020. Finally, 2020. I'm right.
Yeah, 2020. Yes, 2020. If you remember from the last episode, Micah screamed out 2020, and it was not
it was not 2020.
We have a special guest that was with us on the last episode, Paige. So welcome, Paige.
Hello.
All right, great. So, how's 2020 been treating you so far, Beth?
I was sick the first day of 2020.
Sound like you still are.
And I've been sick ever since. Haven't had a car since 2020 started.
Damn.
I got it back today. Yeah, you know.
A little rocky.
On the grand scheme of things, everybody talking about how, like, you know, a year. Oh yeah, this year is basically gonna give me the business. I'm not signing up for that. I'm just gonna say that it's cold outside, and I'm gonna say that my immune system was at a low point, and I got. So yeah, and then my car. I mean, nothing's wrong with it, but I was trying to do preventative measures because I didn't want something to go horribly wrong that would cost over $1,000. So you know, when your car runs hot, that's kind of like the worst thing that can happen to it if you keep pushing it. It didn't smoke. I just saw the H, and I was like, I was at Mercedes' birthday party. I said, my car hit the H. I need to let my mechanic know. I let him know. He took my car. 2 days after, he told me what it was. He told me it was going to be $545 bloody dollars. I said, oh. He said he needs half. Now I said,
what you need to do is get out of my face.
No. So I was like, I'm gonna get my car back. I'm gonna figure it out because
let me get that back, sir.
You know, the plethora of money I Uber and I Lyft when I'm not homeschooling or tutoring or doing hair. Can't do nobody hair coughing on their head. So I couldn't do anything. For all of my hustles was like done. Like I couldn't do anything. So I was like, you know what?
Poor girl.
2020 showed me that I need to be patient and that sometimes I just need to sit down because I'm always moving. I'm always ripping and running. So maybe this year it's teaching me already that I need to step back and take some time just in general to like think things through. Maybe think before I say yes to everything.
That's a good
yeah, I'm trying to get something out of it because I'm always ripping and running, and I've been home for the past 4 days just
not
sick.
Ripping and running.
Right, ripping and down. Sitting down.
What about you, Romans?
I'm sick right now. So actually, second day of the new year, I'm sick. Yep.
Well, you know,
I am having a good year so far, though. I just got news. I have 23 people on my weight loss challenge, and all 23 have made their 2-pound lower mark.
Amazing.
So that is a fabulous news as of today for my 2020. You go, Soka family. You guys are awesome.
Whoop whoop.
Good job, gals. Is it just gals or men in that too?
It's one guy.
Well, shout out to you, sir. Right. 2020 for me, it's been okay. I can't say it's been any different than 2019. It's been pretty normal. I'm trying to stick to my little rules of working out. Like, I worked out yesterday for the first day of the year, which I was so mad at myself. And I feel it now because I took such a break. So, you know, my little hips hurt or whatever. I was like, oh, thick shit, you know. So that was nice. And for 2017, 18, 19, and now 20, I said I was going to read a book a month. And I failed miserably the last 2 years. So this year, what I said is, okay, Leah, maybe an audiobook. Let's try that. And for some reason, I don't like that. But I thought about, you listen to podcasts all the time. Mm-hmm. So maybe, you know, you can listen to it. So what I said I was going to do is while I was working out, listen to one of the audiobooks and see how it works. And it's been working. So far. So I'm like halfway. I think I'm halfway through the book. I don't know. The book I'm currently listening to is Unfuck Yourself. I think that's what this one's called. Unfuck Yourself. Interesting thus far. It's like just telling you little habits, you know, when you get into a negative mindset.
Is that the book you was telling about? You've never read this
one. The book I was telling you about was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Y'all heard that?
Yeah, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I'm physically like reading
that's what I was saying, yeah.
And then I'm listening to Unfuck Yourself.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you know, my book choices go based on what interests me. It jumped out.
Yeah,
they put fuck on a book. So
I like it.
Yeah. So, and the audiobook is it's being narrated by the guy who wrote it. He's Scottish, I believe, so his accent is adorable, and he cusses and stuff, and it's great. And he literally just says, you know, unfuck yourself and stop doing that shit. And this shit isn't what's up. I was like, all right, man. So yeah, I'm sticking to my reading and my listening, and you know, fit bitch, I'm doing my fitness stuff and trying to plan. Yes, you do have to pay for audiobooks, but if you get Audible, I think is what it's called.
On Google?
Yeah, it's Amazon. It's with Amazon. Your first book is free. So I think that's a good way to see if it'll work for you. And I picked Unfuck Yourself. I was answering Stretch on live. Hello, Stretch. So your first one is free, and I got Unfuck Yourself. And it's fucking great. So, yeah. And the only other thing I've been trying to do, which I was supposed to do in 2019, and I kind of just carried it over, was this extremely large amount of clothes that I have. So I have finally all the little kid clothes in a bag. Okay, so I'm going to give you those. And then I have the things I'm going to finally give away. And then the one thing I like about doing this is that I find things that I haven't seen in so long. And I was like, damn, I really love this fucking shirt. So I'm keeping it. But I'm going through the process of, are you really going to wear this? And I had to actually let go of a couple things recently, like today. And I was like, damn, you know, as much as I love this shirt, I'm not going to wear it.
Does it bring you joy?
Right. I heard Micah told me that.
It's called Tidying Up on Netflix. Please stay tuned to Netflix if you want to tidy your life up.
Well, I'm going to give it a look-see. But, I think I gave up a few things, and I still have more to do, but I had to stop to go see Tarsha, and then now we're doing a podcast. And that's one thing I hate. This is to move on from it, but I hate not finishing something that I started. Mm-hmm. So, like, if I'm doing the cleaning, I want to just do this until I'm done. Mm-hmm. And so I hate leaving it, but I had to go see Tarsha. And then I came back home, and I didn't even take anything off. I was like, let me just wait till Micah gets here so we can just keep it going. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, 2020 is okay. I'm definitely tired of seeing the year of perfect vision and all this other shit, so let's let it go. Okay.
They not gonna do that.
They're not.
You know that. It's like, that shit gonna ride out to about February 2nd, and then reality gonna set in.
2nd. You still can't see shit.
February 2nd, everybody gonna start chilling out. You know what? I think they do it more so for their mental capacity. I think 2019 was literally almost 5-6 days ago, right? Yeah. You're just continuing what you left off. Like, nothing is changing. It's just the date. The end of the year is changing. That's it. Like, you literally went to sleep on a Friday and you woke up on a Saturday and it was a different date. Like, your routine is still the same. So I appreciate resolutions because I think they mentally give someone something to look forward to for the next quarter of their life, right? If you look at years as quarters, you got the first, second, and third quarter. All right, what are you going to do the first beginning? Most people work out. Most people go so ham in January and they fall off in February because it's not a part of the lifestyle that you say you want. It just sounds good, and it's like you're mentally preparing yourself to be better, but you didn't do any of the training. You just went right in. Like, y'all, I just want y'all to know, Nipsey Hussle, what did he say? It's a marathon. Okay? So marathons usually be about 26 miles, bitch. Like, they're really long. So if you think about it like that, I don't mind if you quit whatever you said you were going to do. I mess with Leah for saying I didn't read, but I'm going to try audio. I'm going to try audiobooks because that means I'm still reading a book in some way. I'm still gaining some knowledge. I'm still hearing some different, perspective and gaining perception, whatever. You feel me? So do it little by little. Try not to beat up yourself, because then all the beating up of yourself comes after you didn't do what you said you was going to do. Just breathe it out. Then you start spiraling, and then you just start doing worse. Like, it's just
start spiraling and it
don't
gets crazy.
Please don't spiral. Just
well, the best advice I can give to somebody, I guess, when it comes to sticking to whatever resolution is that you have, it's like, if it is fitness, like for me it's fitness, and I don't care for it at all. I was like, yesterday when I went to the gym, it was like the hardest it's ever been to get up and go to the gym for whatever reason. I don't know why.
4 days was gone.
But I've gone longer than that, and I was still fine. And I don't know, but I just did not want to go. And I kept making like, all right, let me go. All right, I'm going to take a nap real quick. And I literally got to put my clothes on and then sat back down. I was like, man, I don't want to go to this shit. And then I was there. It was okay being there. I listened to my book, and, you know, I kind of just
got through it.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. It's like they both, reading the books, which I used to love reading. I don't know what's changed, but reading and getting the information I like the result from reading, right? And then working out, I'm going to like the result from working out. There's both two things you don't really care much to do anymore or ever, but you like what the result's going to be. And then to me, it's like, that's what motivates me to just do it. And I always compare it to school. I hated going to school.
Hate it.
Right? But I wanted the degree because I wanted you to pay me. So I did it. So if you make it, for me, I made it something that I had no choice but to do. Like, I got to go to work in the morning. Don't want to. Have no choice. So just make it yes, as Stretch would say, he's a personal trainer, former personal trainer. He says you got to just make it a habit. And it's true. You know, you got to just make it something you want to do. So whatever it may be, if it is reading a book or if it is spending more time with your friends or whatever, the book about Unfuck Yourself, just throwing a little hint out there, it was I'm like halfway through. Each chapter has its own it's like he says it's its own standalone like part, I guess. And it's one of those things where you just have to, whenever you do get a negative feeling about something that you don't care like doing, just push through it anyway. Because this is literally how anything ever gets done. Like, if and one thing he did say is, like, if we all sit there and wait until we're just super in the mood to do some shit, you're probably never going to do it. I'm never going to be super in the mood to go to the gym. Or maybe one day, fingers crossed. But right now, it don't look like it. But you just push through it, because I know what I want to accomplish, you know? So that's what I would encourage you guys to do, is make it something that you have no choice to do. You have no choice but to go to work. So you go. And whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, make it that way. And resolutions, I think, don't work out usually for people because they just kind of give up on it, or
they don't want it bad enough.
Yeah,
personally.
They find ways to just to not. They find excuses, and then they end up becoming normal. And the next thing you know, you forget about it altogether. So
I don't think
it's definitely about how bad you want it.
They don't want it bad enough. They don't want it bad enough. It sounds good.
Yeah.
But you don't want it bad enough, because if you did, you would make the necessary changes.
The book Unfuck Yourself, the man says that.
Yeah, it's just,
it's very true.
And I think it's a hard truth to have you have to have a talk with yourself. It's a hard truth to look yourself in the mirror and say, damn, you really don't want what you say you want. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that must be tough conversation to have with yourself. Like, damn, I am not motivated. I'm not self-motivated. Some people aren't.
Because you know what I'm saying? It's so simple. One example he gave, okay, fine. If it's your weight, you don't like your weight, a simple fix to that is change your diet, work out more. Or if it's something different, go to the doctor and see what's wrong, whatever. You don't like your job. Essentially, the quick solution to that is quit. Right? So it's like, yes, there's a whole bunch of other reasons why you can, maybe not, but a lot of these fixes are so simple.
You can look for other things in the meantime.
Do it. And I mean, the man literally, the book broke down a whole phase of mine where it's like, I sit there, okay, I got to go do this. All right, let me just, I kind of get overwhelmed about the thought process of it. And then he was like, you go to your favorite time wasting website, which for me is probably Fashion Nova. So I go there and like load my cart with a million things, and then maybe an email comes in, you get sidetracked with that, and then you remember, oh, okay, dang, I gotta go to the gym. And then I look around, I see all the shit in my room. I was like, nah, I can't go to the gym because I really need to finish cleaning this room. And then next thing you know, the gym just gets pushed to shit because I found
it's done
something else. And for me, it's always, I have so many other things I could be doing, which is always true. Like right now, I could be finishing the damn room, but you know, you gotta just pick and choose. So I hope you guys find something that you really, really want, and you just try to stay as dedicated as you can for it.
Baby
especially
steps.
if it's about your health or, you know, something like that, because you're all you got. You're all you got, man.
Baby steps. If you don't drink enough water, just try to drink a bottle of water every day.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be this grand gesture of I'm changing who I am. totally. No, if you want a habit to stay, you got to build the habit. You got to do the habit every day. So just drink water every day, or get some. I hate almonds, but they're so healthy for energy and all the other shit. I hate them. Get some almonds and eat one a day. Try to gain some type of taste bud for it. I don't know, but like just very small things will make very big gestures in the end. Just start off small. Don't beat yourself up. Sis and bro.
Okay. So we can go either the comedy special thing or Kevin.
Straight into Kevin Hart.
I'm gonna go to Kevin.
I am ready.
And then the thing with
Ayanna,
the Jewish people.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go into Kevin. So, excuse me. If you guys have not seen the Kevin Hart special, I think it's called "Don't Fuck This Up," if I'm not mistaken, where he talks on all the things that he's fucked up, be it his marriage, one of his friendships, the Oscar situation. I wasn't interested to watch it.
Me neither.
Off rip. And then a friend of mine on Twitter, she was like, so Kevin Hart blamed cheating on his wife on his friends not being around. And I was like, okay, bitch, I really don't want to see it now. Like, Kevin, I don't got time for this shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm straight. And then it was Micah Page and company convinced me. I think Bree was also pushing for me to watch it, and I finally watched it. I mean, what do you guys have to say? What do you want me to? I don't know.
So my whole thing is, so I kind of stumbled upon it because I didn't even know it was out, and it was the day after Christmas, and I got to my boyfriend's family's house in Orlando, and y'all know I sleep until 12, especially when I have nothing to do. So that day I couldn't do that, whatever. I woke up at 9 and I walked downstairs and they're watching it. And like, it seemed like it just started. And I'm like, what is this? And it was like, it's the Kevin Hart documentary. I'm like, about what? And then it was just like, his life, blah, blah, blah. Things that he's gone through in the past, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. So I'm watching, and y'all, I'm telling you, I wanted Leah to watch it so bad because it's like, first of all.
We can break it down by issue. The first big one was what? Him cheating?
Oh, we can do that. Okay.
You want to do that?
Oh, we can, because I was going to say the grand synopsis that he's just a sorry ass nigga. He's just always sorry. So the first issue, him being sorry, let's do it like that. Boom.
What was the first one?
So I said what I said. It was
first marriage.
That was the first marriage was him basically saying, it was a comedy thing. He said no. You feel me? I didn't do the bad thing. I left the marriage. Blah 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 blah. I left the marriage, but I fucked up this time. Like, I didn't fuck up in the first one, but I fucked up in this one. Yeah. So you said allegedly that he was cheating on his wife with the woman that he's with now. Be that as it may, the way that I think it's all about tone. The way that Kevin Hart was coming off, and mind you, not sure when this documentary was shot, not sure if they're kind of trying to piece it all together to make it something now based off of what happened in the past. Because I know when you apologize again after you already apologize, it kind of loses its sincerity and it loses its genuine feel, right? So I didn't feel any of that throughout the whole thing. But since we're talking about the cheating on his wife, it kind of was like, yeah, man, I messed up and I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And, and then the next episode, he was like, yeah, none of my boys was there. Because, Kevin always, and they always saying, Kev, what you doing, Kev?
And they all kind of jumped in on it, too. Like, yeah, like, we were there. We would have tapped him on the shoulder and been like, hey, bro, no, don't do that.
But my
don't
thing
fuck
is,
somebody else because you're married.
Kev, why you always
tell you that? Like, what the fuck?
My thing is like, Kev, why is you always, why are you always like that? Like, grow up.
Grow up, little man. Micah's wheezing. She's ill, remember?
Water, baby.
Okay. So, of Nazareth. Okay. So, no, shit, you're passing it on. Okay, you got revved up. Breathe. All right, so I
have water.
I saw his little snippet of what he did to his wife or whatever, and I mean, honestly, the vibe I got from it was Kevin's no worse than any other nigga or no better than any other nigga. He's just a typical nigga that hurts somebody he cares about and doesn't care at the moment. I know a lot of guys who just make poor decisions. Now, unfortunately for Kevin, we see Kevin as the Kevin Hart, and he's also great, and he's funny. He's a family guy, so he has this image that everybody goes by. But you're just a typical nigga that makes poor decisions based on what it is you want to do. And then, of course, you're what Micah said, just a sorry ass nigga after that. You got all the apologies in the world. He sat there and he was like, the pain that I caused when I saw what I did to my wife. What the fuck did you think it was going to do to your wife? And I get it. I think nigga logic is seriously, if she never finds out, it's like it never happened. I know guys that just feel like we can literally just fuck and it means absolutely nothing. Most guys feel that way, and it's not emotional to us, but it's emotional to the woman that you're with. She's going to take it personal. So as a married man, the days of doing, whatever you said, like the days of doing that shit is done.
They should be done.
They're done, Kevin. They're done.
Why are you in the club and still
did that? So,
losing yourself? Like,
yeah.
The fact that he says, Kevin is, like, that's what I didn't understand. Because to me, like, still to this day, how are you still, like, in the club? What I got
from that is,
you don't know how to control yourself. You always want to cheat
on your wife.
Yes.
And you always. It's just because your friends weren't there this time that exactly. She got one over on you. You know, she forced her dick in there. So like, why?
And because they weren't around, they couldn't follow you, and because they weren't around, they couldn't police your behavior, and because they weren't around, they couldn't stop you from getting in the car. Because they weren't around, they could not scope the scene who was recording. Like, I'm sure his team is on his ass. Like, I know that they are, because their jobs are riding on it.
But what I truly feel, and this is me just taking it where I go with it, he probably has cheated on his wife a couple times, but his niggas are around.
Definitely.
He doesn't help. His niggas are around to help him not get caught. So let's pick a bitch that we know for a fact has no cameras, no whatever, and let's get you somewhere else. Kevin can't be, and he wants to fuck somebody else. This is something that he wants to do, right? I'm sure he gets just as drunk. He may even get more lit with his homeboys around. So it's like we really lit, we having a really good time, and we getting the vibe. I guess my mindset of feeling like if it was this easy to happen, it seems like on the one night your friends weren't around, there's no way this doesn't take place. And then all their logic is we weren't around to catch him. Even when he said he saw the video and showed it to the guy, he said, John Legend, showed it to him, the first thing they said was shit. Like it wasn't, oh my gosh, Kevin, you cheated on your wife?
Well,
it was shit. You got caught, bro. Like, that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, it seemed like you got caught. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If I was there, I would have looked out for you a little bit better.
And it's funny because I also thought, how many of his friends can just get up and travel and go whenever he can go? But they're on his managerial team. Mm-hmm. But when he goes out, that's extracurricular. He said, I called all my boys. He called up the dark-skinned one, and he was like, oh, yeah, it's too late notice. My wife says I can't come. And I was trying to figure out how many of them are married. That's kind of, because if they're all single and they're doing their thing and they're hanging out with Kev and whatever the case,
like all of them,
but they're not all single. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're in relationships. And I was like, well, how does that translate in their relationship? Like, do they just get to just go out whenever Kev goes out? Like, I'm pretty sure they stay home with their wives a lot. So my thing is, when Buddy said, yeah, I couldn't go, it was me and my wife, we was chilling, blah, blah.
Spank was like, I can't just get up.
So he was like, yeah, bro, not tonight, too late notice. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, well, there is some type of boundary level that goes on between their relationships and Kevin. Because it's like, yeah, this is we the Plastic Cup Boys, but this is also my wife. Like, I can't just do that. But half of me feels like they really respect his wife. And then the other half goes to where you were saying, I don't think, it's like 5 or 6 of them. I don't think all of them be on the same page. I think morally they're a little different because of the situations that they're in and then the relationships that they're in. If they're happy or not. But I don't think all of them, you feel me, like just out here, like just trying to make sure he doesn't get caught per se. I do think at least 1 or 2, he got at least one solid one. Like, bro, you are tripping.
Like the one we were talking about.
The John Legend one?
Yeah, I think he may be the one to be like, you know, whatever. But he gives me morally whatever vibes. But he's married.
He's married.
Yeah, like Kevin was crying at his wedding.
There.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin was crying
yeah.
at his wedding. Like Kevin was putting on his thing and crying at his wedding. So it was cute. But it's just like when you said that you think you have to like respect his wife, I'm sure they all do. Like I've dated people who've all been, they love me.
But it's bros before hoes. Yeah, I get it.
And they still gonna help this nigga cheat. They've done it. So I don't know. To me, it was just, all I got from it was, big whoop. Kevin is a typical nigga. He's just out of line. And of course, niggas always feel bad once their woman finds out and she's crying and she's devastated. And in Kevin's part, it just shows to me, the level of it's a lot of ways. It could be his irresponsibleness. It could have been how much he's feeling himself. It could have been him really feeling like I am the Kevin Hart and I can do what I want to do because you're famous, stupid. So you doing shit like this, everyone's gonna see. And then the biggest part is like all his friends kept saying the public embarrassment for your wife. That to me is the hardest thing to get over in any situation. And it's just how embarrassed I am now, and then how I personally feel about taking you back. And now that everybody knows you've done this shit.
That's what makes me believe these niggas who are cheating in the celebrity light, I don't want to say they don't care. I want to say that they feel like they are so above and they have whoever right in front of them wrapped around their finger that nothing can possibly come out of this. Like, psh, she's just happy to be here. I'm telling you, like that whole stardom god thing, like I honestly do feel like they think that they're untouchable. Yeah. Like, nobody's gonna find this out, like you said before, and typical niggas feel that way. But when you have a celebrity and then you have someone had to escort you to your truck, like you don't just get in a car, like you have bodyguards around you constantly, you're never alone. So somebody, your bodyguard, saw you walk with this girl, you open the car door, she went first, you went second. Like that was a whole thing. You feel me? So it's like the fact that you just go completely like selfish, right? It's just like, all I want is my rocks off. All I see is this girl in front of me. All I want is this moment right now. I do think these niggas are, they think they're gods. They think they're untouchable, and they think that it can't be them. It's so careless.
In Kevin's situation, I think though he is like Kevin Hart, his wife is gorgeous, and I do think he feels lucky to have her. I think he does feel that way. So I do get a sense of if you meet like let's say a Chris Brown who was with like a regular type bitch, who is kind of just like, bitch, you're lucky to be here because I'm Chris Brown. I can have whatever. And not Chris Brown, but I'm trying to find somebody who's, bigger than life personality. Like Chris is Chris Brown, right? And if he's just a regular bitch, I do get the vibe that maybe someone in his position or in his caliber would feel like I'm the prize here to have. But I do definitely feel like Kevin might feel like his wife is the prize. Like she's like 3 feet taller than him. To me, that's automatically hilarious. But I feel like he does feel like I have a prize to win. In his situation, I will be fair, where I do relate to all my guy friends, or I understand my guy friends, when they'll say it really was just a fuck. They weren't trying to, it didn't mean anything else to him. Like, I'm pretty sure he cared gravely about his wife finding out. But again, typical nigga behavior.
Yeah, he should have did the what the presidents do to sneak Scarlets in the White House. Not
Scarlets.
Don't they have like this secret passage down underground way to get in the freaking White House? And it takes us years to find out who the mistress was. That's the type of top-notch cheating I need from celebrities.
Well, you know what my coworker told me?
Like,
and
what?
He's very Jamaican, so this made me so weird at Jamaican niggas. This is why I get so stressed out about the one person. But he was just like, all men are going to cheat on you. He's like, they're all going to cheat on you. But if they really love you, you'll never find out. And I was like, Jesus of Nazareth. I don't like that, Grandpa. I don't like that plan. You know, when I say I feel like over the age of 25, like if your dick really still runs your life that much to where you would literally have like your queen in front of you, somebody that you die for, right? And you'd still risk it all to fuck a bitch for like 6 minutes. Right? I don't think Kevin was like dropping dick off in his bitch. I don't think Kevin was like, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. And he's probably drunk. So he's probably just laughing, giggling, having a great time, running around. Oh my gosh, new pussy, so exciting. It's like you do all this just to sit here and beg and plead and beg and plead and look like a dick. Because every time, in every little situation that Kevin had on this show, we can move on to the next one. But every single one he had in here, all it did was like chip away at this exterior of Kevin Hart is such a great guy. All it did was chip away at that. You cheat on your wife now, it's just like, oh, okay. It is, to me, it just makes him normal at this point. You know, because I did think he probably really does care about his wife. No, he's a typical nigga that's disrespectful. You want to be carrying whatever. So it just, every little situation chips away. The next one I remember is the friend one, right? Or is it the Oscars one? It's the friend one? Because it's
the best before the Oscar. How he talked to
the
friend one, right?
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
No, that's how. And okay, they're drunk,
right?
They're playing cards. His wife is cuddled. She in a pillow. They on a jet. That's what it looked like. They're on the jet, and everybody's having their typical "we're on our way to a show" type moment. They look real chill, so the show probably was a day, like it probably was later on in that day. Like everybody just looked very chill. This is a game thing. We're playing spades. Spades is competitive. So is taboo. I don't care what anybody says. Those two are to be compared. They were playing a competitive game, and I'm telling you, he probably won. And he probably said, "Yeah, nigga, run me that money," or something like that.
Because they didn't really show the build-up.
They didn't show the build-up. But Kevin automatically goes for the jugular.
Are you rich? Do you think you're rich?
This nigga was like, "Do you think you're rich? Do you think you're wealthy?" He was like,
do you own?
"Are you you don't own anything. You don't own a home. You don't blah blah blah. You will be nothing without." I mean, going on and
I don't remember the nothing without me part, but the friend said, "Where would you be?" The friend was just like, "I would have money with or without you."
Yeah,
I had money before you. I had money after you.
And he said, "Are you serious?"
And it seemed like they was about to fight because it was like a scuffle.
They tussled. That's why the camera was like,
yeah, it was like. And
then when they got off the jet, they were continuing, like the tall one, his trainer was continuously like running up on him. He was like, "Man," like they were like about to whatever, and I'm pretty sure he was Sky Kevin. But my thing is, that all happened as a result of him feeling like his friend betrayed him. That's what he blamed it on. He was like, "I took it too far. I was in a place because after what Jay did to me, the accusations that Jay blah blah blah, that put me in a bad place with y'all, and I should not have let that happen." So now he's thinking all of his boys that are around him are only around him for the money and not for the relationship. Like, Plastic Cup Boys is a joke at this point because one tried to extort me, and he literally took one that was homeless and gave him a hosting job. If you needed money, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you needed money and you're in that position, bro, can I have $2 million? I know that sounds crazy, but I have a corporation that I want to start, and I feel like under your whatever, like, let me just have something under your company. Like, let me just have a branch to this, whatever. If this is your nigga, if this is your best friend, I feel like you can ask him that. Mm-hmm. He took a homeless nigga off the street and gave him a job, and that's his boy. So what made him feel like he wasn't close enough to be able to ask, for one, to extort, but for two, he wanted to expose this nigga so everybody can see what type of nigga he really is. So he probably sick of his lying ass shit because he always does this to them off camera. Ain't no telling how many times he done cussed all of them out because of who he is and how much money he got. That seemed too regular, and it seemed very fucked up.
But to me, that's how I feel about the cheating. It's just like, y'all, if one of y'all decided y'all want to set me up, you wouldn't set me up with cheating on my nigga. I ain't never did that. So that'd be a dumb thing to try to catch me doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You would do something that it seemed like a motherfucker's prone to do. So Kev cheats on her all the time. Let's just set a camera up this time, and it'll be a little easier. It's probably the best opportunity to do it because spanking, blanking,
and she's pregnant, and she won't be out with us.
Yeah, and all the boys won't be there this
Poor
weekend.
girl.
So there you go. It's like, yeah, but
the friend he had tassel with,
you have to hold the mic better than that.
When they gave him the camera, when he had a little camera time, he came off aggressive anyway. When Kev was late to the the session, the personal training session, he was already aggressive. So I think he has his own little characteristic build up for himself to go back and forth with Kevin. So Kevin's a hothead. He feel like he controls everything, and so does this personal trainer.
Cause he care about his time.
Very true, but I'm saying his character. It
seems like they're both like
that.
Though,
they
damn, bitch, you late. Shut up, bitch. Do
so to see them argue on and off camera, it is natural.
Yeah,
it is natural.
It's who they are.
Yeah,
it's who they are. But being who they are and tearing somebody down, that's two different things. You can be as strong as you want to be.
Yeah, you can be the real.
You can be the realest nigga in the room. But when you start
not be a dick.
coming for me, like personally on some ego type shit just to make mine smaller because we both have large egos, you're coming for me. Like now it's a battle of who got what, and that's what it turned into. And obviously Kevin's gonna win, but at the end of the day it's like, bruh, it's not even, why are we even on this? Why are we even talking about this right now? Like they could have continued talking about the Spades game, but they could have brought up some shit he did last week. Yeah, bro, remember you was late to the session? Like, no, you don't have a house. You're poor without me. Like he just went straight there. And I was telling Leah, like, that's how he feels about him. And I was telling her an example. You want more out of somebody than they want from themselves. You can't make somebody the success you want them to be. If I see myself not owning a house until I'm ready to settle for the next 6 years, nothing that y'all say to me, I don't care how many of y'all get a house. I don't care how many of y'all tell me about, oh, did you know they get first loans for first time home? I don't care, because that's not what I want. But although that's success to you, that's not success to me right now.
Well, he talked about that. He said he doesn't measure success in money, and he gave his whole explanation of what success was. And remember, I say that where it's like, you can't get mad about something somebody says about you unless you believe it to some extent. So maybe it does bother him a little bit. And but to me,
because money in general would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it just seems like an asshole thing for Kevin to point out. But I mean, I don't know. Again, with liquor involved and tempers flared, and then your friend, you probably not believing your friend would even try you like that. I could see how it escalated to like a weird point, but I don't know. It would have been tough for me because you know how I feel about people using the excuse of I was mad, so I said all this and this and this. It's just like, that's not how the fuck that works. Like, even if I decide never to speak to a bitch again, it's still certain shit that I just wouldn't say. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So you can't use that.
Yeah. When you drunk, you don't know what you're saying. And
I think you do know what
I think it's the dangerous thing, because the next day they ask you and you can't recall the worst thing you said. And I do believe that, because I can't recall the simplest thing that I did the next day when I've been drinking heavily. So the fact that they went in and then it was on camera, you feel me? It could have been funny if like Kevin watched the tape. But really quick, just random thing. How do y'all feel about not being able to calm down your man? This is a random question. Have you been able? Here's a question. How do you feel about not being the person to calm your man, and have you been in a situation where you weren't able to and you thought you were going to be his solace and you weren't?
Yes, I have been in that situation. Complete hothead he was.
Yes.
How do I feel not being that person to be able to calm him down? One, he doesn't see anybody when he gets that upset. So honestly, no one was his comforting person, or not even like an ice cream bar. Nothing was able to, because he had a lot of evil in him, I feel like. So I mean, I'm speaking on it as me, as the person I am now. I don't care, but I'm trying to think about how I was back then, not being the person to calm him down. I walked away from a lot of his foolishness when he was getting into it or whatever. I removed myself from the situation. If he didn't see me or hear me and he wanted to be reckless, I let him be who he was, and I cleared it.
Period.
How you feel?
I had that situation with Manny. I couldn't. I can't say. He told me I couldn't calm him down. So he would tell me I couldn't calm him down if I see him getting to that point. And y'all have been around Manny. Manny got mad. Manny gets mad. He don't talk. He just goes. He just pops the fuck off. So he told me I couldn't. But I think closer to the end of our relationship or closer to the middle, because he stopped being that kind of person more in the middle. I was able, but it's just he's quick. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know when he gets mad all the way until it's too late and
Yeah.
it's happened. And then I'm like, come on. And then a part of me would be scared, like, damn, I don't want to jump in front of him and then he's swinging me by accident and he's going to feel terrible. But like now, as me and him not being together at all, if I was somewhere and saw him popping off, I could totally calm him down. Because it'd be like, oh, my baby mama. Yeah, hey, the fuck are you doing? Let's go. And then I thought about this with his current girlfriend because I don't know how many instances she's had with him popping the fuck
Probably
up.
none.
He used to tell me, like when he dated the other girl, he would tell me, y'all got into it last night. Why? So he hasn't called me and told me he got into it recently. And I don't know if she would know what to do, but I would know how to handle it. And I asked Tampa Confusions, I asked him about that because he's also just like Manny. And he was just like, no, you need to just get out of the way. So I remember I was like, this was, I think in October or whatever, when he was around. And I was like, okay, so if you're mad, and I just jumped on you, and I was like, start kissing my cheek. He was like, do not do that. Do not do that. If I'm mad like that, you need to just stand to the side. And I was like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'll make sure you're okay. And he never really goes anywhere by himself. So it's kind of like he'd hand me off to like so-and-so, and then that's it.
It pisses me off.
Yeah.
Not now. Like I don't have a hot head. Well, it takes a lot for him to get, I think, anywhere. When it comes to like anger, it just takes a lot. He don't have time for dumb shit. But you put it there, then he will pick it up.
Right.
But I remember it pissing me off that I could not calm down who I was with. Because the bigger picture is you're going to go to fucking jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking about the worst case scenario for you because you're enraged. I get it. You blacked out, whatever. But I used to feel like, you know how you said you take things personal and when things start changing, it's like, what is it me? Mm-hmm. My thing is, why can't it be me to calm you down? Like, I don't know if you guys if you noticed watching that documentary, Kevin will be having this moment, and she's just laying there like it's normal. And he's snapping and he going off, and she's just laying there.
But she did say it a couple times. She was just like, at least 2 or 3 times I heard her say, you just went all the way left.
After the fact.
Yeah, because,
yeah.
And to me, it seemed like she just.
But that's what I'm saying. So in the moment, everything was escalating, everything was happening. She wasn't saying, okay, baby, that's enough. Not even nothing, not a voice, she was just sitting there and watching, and I'm thinking that could possibly be a you and Paige situation, like, it's happening, okay, all right, how can I get closest to the jet window without jumping out? Like, she just seemed like she wasn't even there, and she was directly in front of him, and then the guy got up and started getting rowdy next to his wife, and Kevin is only seeing blood at this point, and your wife is right here. Like, if he does something, it could have been her, easily, they were so close in vicinity when all of that popped off. And so I don't know, I was just thinking about the idea of your rib being able to help you see clearly when you can't see.
When I first
clearly
asked Manny about it, like when we first started dating way back when, he told me it would take a lot. He was just like, it would take time for me to be able to calm him down. And I guess, to be fair, that holds true. Because like I said, now we ain't been together in years and I'd still be able to calm him down. So he did tell me, he's like, it would take time. And with Tampa Confusion, he didn't say like, there's nothing you can do to calm me down. He said, you gotta really like, leave me alone. And I was like, so there's nothing at all I can do. And he gave me kind of the same response Manny gave me, where it's just like, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. And so that's what I'm saying. With
right.
Manny, it took him realizing, hey, dude, you're a father. Yeah, go to prison. You know, it took these type of things taken for him to calm down. So I don't know if his temper has really calmed down so much, but he's wiser at putting himself in certain positions.
Yeah,
where he's gonna get pissed the fuck off. So where maybe somebody would try Manny, he would instantly just swing on you. I think now he would nigga.
Yeah,
let's go. You know, like it'd be like that because he already knows I'm about to fly across this fucking table and that's it. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it takes.
So what I would say to the men in general who are in relationships with women, like I'm talking about 3-4 years, your wife, your girlfriend,
boom.
It does. That's your rib at this point. Take advice. Take advice from me, Jesus. I just feel like it speaks volume to the union of a relationship when your woman, not your boys, not anybody else, can look you in the face and say, this is not worth it. And you can be mad, but you need to walk away. Like, I feel like there are certain situations women can make better for you if you just let them calm you down.
And maybe we should just try it. Because you know who does it? I've seen her do it a couple times. Tarsha, because when Tarsha was talking to Manny's cousin, she just stood right in front of him and she was just like, calm the fuck down. And he just like, man, Tarsha moved. And she was just like, what you gonna do? No. And he was just like, oh, bitch, you aggravating, whatever. But he stopped.
Yeah.
And I know his temper's just as equal as Manny's, maybe even worse. So maybe it is a situation where it's just like, and then to me, that would say something to me. Like, me and Paige together, Paige is mad. And I jump in front of Paige, and I'm like, no. And Paige just boxed me in my face, and I just fly across the room. I'm leaving Paige. Because then that means, you know what, Paige? Not even my beautiful face calms you the fuck down, you know? So maybe we should just try it. I don't know when you'll ever be in that situation. And if I keep talking confusion,
I probably won't. I probably won't.
He's but
I'm just saying.
Right. Yes. Yes.
You know,
it's like the scene in
Wakanda.
Yes, when remember at the close to the end when like I forgot who
was like
somebody. And
he was like, "Will you kill me, my love?" That one.
Yeah. And he like got on his knees or some shit, and she was like,
"She said, for Wakanda, yes."
And
he stood down.
He stood down. He put his shit down and got down like this.
Shit! It should have told you something when your own rhino licked her in the middle about the sky with his horn.
He's like, and to me, and it's true. That does actually speak volumes for relationships.
It does.
Had not been fictional characters, I'm pretty sure they have a lovely relationship.
That was beautiful. That was a good parlay. That was such a
good
powerful
I like, I
part.
Cried. Yeah, it was nice because
all your masculinity and your pride and blah blah blah.
It's beautiful.
Nah, nigga, it's not happening today.
I asked my brother about it. I asked Nick about it, and I was like, okay, if I'm in a situation and he was just like, I'm gonna make sure you're okay. He's like, that's the first thing I do. He's like, but he was like on some, no, we make sure you're fine. Like, we came out there with y'all, I'd be like, oh, you know what, Lee, let's go. I was like, go where? Let's go home. I don't want to go home. Nah, it's time to go. And then they take me home, and then they go back. And I was like, no, see, that's the problem. I don't want you to go back. He was like, no, we would have to go back because that nigga tried it. And so to me, that's when I was asking your questions. Okay, there's nothing I could do to make you not go. He was just like, I have to make sure you're okay. You know, I'm essentially his little sister. He's older by a little bit. So he was like, I'll make sure you're okay. And I was like, and then I started thinking about that nigga, and I was like, damn. Maybe if I just get like butt ass naked and jump on him, maybe that.
There's no way you're
and
doing that in public.
Like, he was like,
nowhere doing that.
He's like, I don't care, Leah. And I was just like, no. He was like, it would just take a lot to calm him down. So
okay, I don't know. Okay, cool. So that could be that can kind of be like the question to the male viewers when you do see red. Yeah. I think obviously thinking is not one of the things on your list, but if you see red and black out, I would like you to dig deep within to search why you don't want to be calmed down. Because at that point, it's a choice. You're choosing not to want to calm down. I don't care what anybody says. That whole blacking out shit is bullshit to me.
And
that's a choice.
It's a sign of maturity to tag into what Micah said. Micah mentioned this about long-time relationships. Like, y'all on 3-4 years. This your wife, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And for men, you know, you guys are the strength or whatever, but we've been praised for being smarter. Yes. Yeah. And we're the reason. So if the woman that to me, this is how I think relationships should be. If I can't tell you something, then who the fuck can?
Who can?
And vice versa. If my man can't tell me I'm tripping or tell me what he thinks I should do, and I take his advice as something that's important, then I'm with the wrong person. So if you're seeing red, as you know, like Micah said, or blacked out or whatever, and then your reason stands in front of you and says this is not it, I want you to be as mad as fucking possible, but your reason just said it, so be like,
yeah,
fuck, let's go. Like,
yeah.
whatever. If she didn't stand in front of you, fuck that nigga up, baby.
Yeah.
But she did. So I think that also
Yeah.
says a lot about how much you value this woman's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about, you boo for a couple weeks.
And if she always got you in the fight, that say something too.
Yes.
So
That
let's.
was Manny's situation. He got to like 7. I was
Ain't
like,
nothing cute about that. Grow
not
up, sis.
cute. All right. So, yeah, Kevin was weird on that. So then the other one was the whole Oscar situation. Correct, Mundo? That was the
Yes,
last
when
one?
he did not apologize again.
Terry felt passionate about this, and unfortunately he's not here to discuss it. So we will.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel.
So I like where he was coming from, and initially when it first came out again, he was like, "This again." Right when I get this opportunity to do the Oscars, y'all drag a 2016.
It was old.
Y'all drag it back. I already apologized for this. You drag it back right before I'm about to go on the Oscars. This is one of my bucket lists. This is one of my dreams. You drag it back up and you want me to apologize again? Now I know y'all fucking with me. Now I know y'all pulling my leg at this point. No, not apologizing. Like I was all for it when he first did it. I got his reasoning, blah, blah, blah. But weeks kept going by and it kept escalating and getting worse and getting worse. And people kept tagging on to it like it was new. And he kept saying, this is not new. And then when he woke up and he was like crust still in his eyes, all his chains on. Remember his homeboy was like,
He put me on hold.
oh God, we gonna have to do some control. Kevin can't go on the internet anymore this week because blah, blah, blah. Like they have to do, now they have to do what? Population control?
Damage control.
Damage control. It's just,
So I remember
just
when
too
it happened,
far.
like it came out and he was just like, he's not apologizing. And then I would say like a couple of days later, like 4 or 5 days later, he ended up apologizing. He put out like a tweet apologizing for whatever and just saying that, he addressed it before. Da, da, da. And I think he did talk about it on Ellen again after that. Because I remember following the story when it came out. And I think what he said about it on the show, I agree with that. Where... Right, you don't have to keep defending something, and then it was just like, why do I have to keep defending something that I said? If you don't think people change, that was 20 or however many years ago. If you don't think people change now, I'm about to be 40 something. Like he gave all these reasons to why Ellen forgave him, and then a lot of the LGBTQ community, they were just like,
the spokesperson.
yeah, Ellen's not Ellen's not the spokesperson for us. Da, da, da. And I get it, but it's like what he said closer to the end of it. He was like, all he really needs to say was he doesn't condone violence or something like that, and that would have been better than saying I'm not going to address it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I like the idea of I said what I said. I like saying that I said what I said and I stood by it. I said what I said as in I already apologized for it, and I'm not going to go on constantly making up for something I already made up for. And
Yeah.
I get his reasoning for it, and then I guess it was when the lady on his team gave her example because she was a lesbian, and she was just like, my wedding planner had something to say, and then my brother who's also gay had something to say, and then through my friend, like she was saying how all these things
was being affected in her life,
and it was affecting everything, and then I was like, oh damn, I didn't think about it that way. But what else do you guys want him to do?
They want him to keep apologizing because they asked for it. This is like the privilege and the sensitive of America.
Of like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
So my thing is, yes, he could have still not apologized, but said something different. I gave this whole I thought about this whole thing. I'm like, you know what? How could he have gotten away with this in this way without apologizing again? I was raised in the black community, and in the black community, homosexuality is deemed as the worst thing you can be. And in my household, the way that I grew up, I couldn't even play with dolls. Like, that's how shut off it was in my home. And growing up, I listened to homosexual jokes. I listened to blah, blah, blah. I thought it was okay. He could have hit him with that because culturally, African Americans detest homosexuality like we do. And so he could have made that an argument to say, this is where I was then. I want y'all to understand why I was there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a reason why I feel this way about homosexuals.
But to me, I feel like people are smart when they want to be smart. And people are selective at inferring and understand that. It's not a secret. A lot of black people say things like that, or they know that it's a joke like that, or a cultural thing like that. You can't understand the culture in one breath and not get the culture in another breath. I understand his point of feeling like, why the fuck do I have to explain something that you guys can probably figure out? Like, it's in rap songs that white people listen to and or gay people listen to, and it's just something that happens. So I think once you open the door to having to give this explanation over and over and over again, you're going to be asked this shit on every single front possible. Yeah. What you just said, they already know that.
Yes, but
and to me, I feel like I get why him feeling like, why the fuck do I'm not saying it again.
I get it, but it's him saying something else that is also sensitive to the culture without apologizing. He doesn't have to say what he said all over again. He's like, you know what? Let me dig a little deeper. This is where it came from, guys. I was in a place of blah, blah, blah. My culture, blah, 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 blah. I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still not apologizing.
And you know what it probably is,
but you're giving them just enough because people are so sensitive and they love stories.
What it probably is, too, is that he wouldn't have had to address his homosexual comments on one platform. If he would have just had to say that shit one time, like he already did one time, then it wouldn't have been bad. But when he goes on this show, they ask, okay, Kevin Hart, you don't like gay people?
He said,
and then he goes to the next show,
talking about
ABC
this
show. And so it's like, I think that kind of made it worse too. Like, so for the next 3 months, every interview I do, we talking about some shit I tweeted. So I think that kind of made it worse too. If he, and not even if he did address it once, and if that would have carried over to every other situation, then
and it tried to. That's why he got so stern the last time he had an interview. I'm not talking about it, and then it came off as Kevin is insensitive. Like what do y'all want, bro? What do y'all want? But overall, like you said, everybody saw Kevin as a stand-up guy, like a nice guy, like oh my god, blah blah blah, and he's still those things. But this nigga is also human, and he is also an apologetic, probably just self-righteous celebrity. At the end of the day, he does great things. He puts a lot of people on. He gives a lot of opportunities. So I fuck with him for that. One time for the jobs. But as a whole, I did not like Kevin Hart after this. And I don't think he... Okay, I know. I don't think he's funny all the time.
It chips away at this shiny,
I wasn't a fan. Like, I can't wait till this shit comes out. I saw him live once. It was all right. But as a person, I'm like, I'm good off of you. Like, okay. Thanks for letting us in. I appreciate the vulnerability. But now that I know.
And that's what I said. For me, okay, he's just like every other nigga. Like, that's what my conclusion to Kevin Hart was. It was like, he's no worse or no better than any guy. He's just a typical guy.
Yeah, being in that light, I always say that to you guys, that famous life, that shit's for the birds, for real. Because you can't, I mean, you can apologize on the time, but there's still going to be a million people that like you or dislike you and have their opinions about you.
Yeah. And you don't help when you do dumb shit like that.
Very true. I mean, but
if that's how he felt, that's how he felt. Yeah,
the world is just like that. And I'm not into all of their life and their story, but I did watch the Kevin Hart thing, and my take from it is I still do think he's a good comedian. I do applaud him for opening those opportunities for those people. As for him as a person, skeptical. He's with the regulars now. He disappointed us.
Exactly.
Great.
Right.
All right. So now you're looked at as the disappointment. That's pretty much it. Hopefully he is getting older, as he says. Maybe he's maturing. Who fucking really knows?
Yeah.
Besides his wife.
And really knows.
Good point. But wait, Paige. So I don't know. I said this, but if y'all peeped when they were on the playground, I said this a couple of nights ago after my dance class. It seems like she's getting tired.
I was looking for that tired moment you told me about. I didn't peep it.
The way that she responded when they were on the playground, like they came out with the baby's running around his big head. He's so cute. he about to
does
tilt
have a big
over
head.
every time.
He does
Squarehead
have a big
ass.
head.
So like he coming out or whatever, and he's whatever, and then like she sits on the I think he sits on the swing, and she's like standing next to it or whatever, and he's just like, I just can't get it right. You know, I just keep fucking up like every chance I get. Blah blah blah. And she was like,
Right.
I do think.
I get very passive vibes from Kevin Hart's wife. Like, you know, one of those versions of he's the man in the house, what he says goes. And I don't get like battered woman. I get like she's fine with it. Like I get like she's fine with it. Like, all right, babe, well, I already know how Kevin is. So, you know, and everyone around him seems to know that. They all, you know, let him get away with being that way.
So how do these people grow?
What people,
Let's
people
look
like Kevin?
How do people like Kevin grow? If we keep saying this is how this person is, let's just you know what they're gonna know. Like, how do these people grow? Who is their sensei?
Their sensei.
Who is their mentor?
In Kevin's heart, his sensei is the American people that stopped fucking with him, or the gay community that stopped fucking with him because he made whatever comments. Because he didn't get it when everyone on his team told him not to fucking do it. He got it when everyone from out here is saying Kevin ain't shit and they don't want to watch his movie,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
But remember,
that's his sensei.
right? But remember, she said his numbers aren't going down. Remember?
But he said he couldn't promote for the movie that was coming out that well, and that movie didn't do as good as the other one.
He couldn't promote because he was dealing with that, not because he couldn't promote, because he was trying to basically put out fires.
But that's the point. Either way, it caused a problem, regardless of
But
what
it
was,
didn't
he
cost
couldn't do
him
it.
money. That's what the white woman was saying. She was like, I don't know how hard this is going to hit Kevin because his numbers are not being affected. He's still selling out shows.
But something was affected enough for him to finally realize he fucked up. For him, so that's my point. That's what his sensei is, because in the end of it was, I did this thinking it was going to give me this result, and it gave me the complete opposite. They were right. I should have done this. I should have done that. It took everyone else being pissed at him.
So he ended up apologizing again.
Yes. And if anything, I think it clicks now more that, okay, maybe I do need to chill. And now he's giving us this constant speech about it takes a team, and you got to have your team, and your fucking team, you know? So I think that's what it, and then to be fair, you got to think about it. These people are all, for the most part, in positions where they need Kevin in some type of way.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like we talked about the Kodak Black situation. He ain't got a body around him that's going to tell him what to do. He got yes men around him. And so Kevin may be in that situation too. Kevin is smarter in that case, where once something gets hit in a certain kind of way, which if anything, what you said is more of an attest to it. His money didn't get hit. Other shit got hit. His likability got hit. People don't like him as much as they did. So if that's what the fuck it takes to humble you a little bit, then there you go. Because he said this situation humbled him. So that may be his sensei. And maybe that's how he grows. Because like you said, he does seem in general like a nice guy. He's just, now we see you got dicky ways like most niggas do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But yeah.
And his wife, if she,
all of that makes sense, but I'm just thinking about on a grand scheme of things, like you acting right because you want your money to be right, you want the fans to like you want to sell out shows, you want to sell movies. You're doing that temporarily to appease people.
It's possible that he has really learned from this. It
is possible, but on a great level. This is for that's for one part of his life, but answering to the rest of the way that he treats people and the way that he talks to people, the way that he handles people. If everyone is allowing Kevin to be Kevin,
how does he grow?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does he grow?
So in the 3 situations that he showed, the cheating situation, theoretically, this is supposed to be the last time he ever does that because of the effects of it, and it's clicked that this is bad. Kevin, don't do that again. And then when he cussed his friend out, he sent that long text message out apologizing to everybody. It's the first time I ever did that. I'm sorry. And even the friends was like, he's never did no shit like that. Like, it's crazy. So he did it. It was fucked up, and he could have learned from that. Like, we're assuming
he's learning.
Yeah, no, because your thing is, how does he learn?
I'm assuming that he doesn't have someone that is telling him this is not. I'm going off of the basis that nobody is having a different voice than everybody else. If everybody's just falling in line and allowing this person to just act how they act because that's how they are, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe he's self-assessed. We self-assess all the time, and we talk about that.
True.
Once you get to a certain part in your life, I would hope, where money isn't really a problem, and you are trying to try to be what Kevin Hart claims he's trying to be, and he gets praise from everybody, as we saw, as being a very hardworking man and hardest working man in the world. Maybe he does self-assess. Like, that's what I took it as. Fine, nobody said anything, but you can check yourself. And it's not just his friends on the plane seeing it. Now we've all seen it. And so even if it is bullshit or whatever, I took it as this is how you grow from it. You doesn't have to be somebody else telling you, nigga, you fucked up. You know you fucked up. You ain't never did that, and now you showing the fuck out. You sound like a dick. Like we talked about the other day. Does this bitch hear how this shit sound coming out her mouth? She sound crazy as fuck. So maybe it isn't somebody else checking him. Maybe he is skilled enough at this point to self-assess himself and realize I sound like a fucking asshole saying this to my friend. I look like a fucking asshole hurting my pregnant wife. I see how I look fucked up to the LGBTQ community or whatever. Maybe that's how these type of people grow, if they're good enough to self-assess. We know a lot who can't. But I do think
that's
he's
what I'm
better
saying.
at that. I think he does self-assess.
Yeah, I don't think he's not, but I just wonder if everybody else is going along with whatever it is.
Situations.
And
it seems like he may be learning in prison
not
now.
Self-assessed.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's the example of no one around him saying anything, and he doesn't self-assess. Then you end up in those type of situations where you lock the fuck up and you're facing a bazillion years. And maybe now being in prison, he has no fucking choice.
He's been in prison 12 times. He's a lost cause. But I feel you. That's what
that's what happened to those people.
I feel you. But I'm just saying.
Example of
this is just on the level of people in your lives that you're friends with and that you are co-workers with or whatever, people that you call your close whatever. Self-assessment is a journey. It is not easy, and most people don't know how to fucking do this shit. They don't.
People do not.
They don't.
Do this shit.
So
That's a fact.
I'm just wondering if you allow people to continue to treat the people around them the same way, they respond the same way to things, and no one is speaking up. How do you expect this person to know that it's a problem? And how do you expect this person to grow? So I'm encouraging everybody to speak out, because his publicist, she got the right idea. Sus is not playing with Kevin. Kevin, no, you're not posting that. And he kept going back and forth. He said, yes, I am. She said, no, you're not. Do you know, blah, blah, blah.
And she gets paid to do that. That's her fucking job.
But that's what I like. Oh, they got the right one. She don't care about appearance. She don't care about nothing. She care about these numbers. She care about this team, this production, whatever. And I just thought of her just now. I'm just like, she was boss. Like, she definitely was like, no, someone has to call him. And he was like, well, you know, Kevin ain't gonna go for that. Well, I'm gonna call him anyway. Like, you need that. Like, you need people like that. And he probably didn't hear her. And if she does, she probably has in the back of his head. You know how you go to sleep with some people voice in your head? I'm pretty sure it's hers.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure her voice is somewhere in there, because it's so different.
And because he's not, I do think it takes a certain kind of person to accept that someone's checking them, right? And not be a dick about it and do what the fuck they want to do anyway. So they did keep saying, we tell Kevin you can't do it, he's going to want to do it anyway. But she's the one that said, okay, I'm going to tell him he can't fucking do it.
Yeah, because
he went back and forth to her, but it's like when your man is so upset and you're the reason, his publicist is his fucking reason. And if your wife can't do it and none of the fucking plastic cup guys, then here am I to tell you, don't fucking do that. And I get paid to tell you this is not okay.
Yeah.
Calm it the fuck down.
So I appreciate her stance in that.
Shout out to that white lady.
Shout out. What's her name? Julie? I feel like it's Julie.
Shout out to Juju.
Maybe not. Sorry.
Maybe. Shout out, ma'am. Shout out to you, ma'am.
Shout out, ma'am.
Okay, so good luck, Kevin Hart. I hope you change, bro, because I don't know. And I could have sworn there was a situation since then with Kevin, like right before his car accident, where he was like really hurt for a while, where he was in some other bitch face, but his wife ain't say nothing, so I guess I don't know. Some niggas just don't learn.
Man, if I was in that light as the famous person, so I would do my best not to be on anything.
I mean, and
you know, a lot of people try not to be famous. They want to be known, but famous is like a different level.
Because then you can't do anything by yourself. And his wife said that. She was like, I miss when we used to just be able to go places. And
oh
just
my
be
God.
Us. Now we got to go with 16 security guards and there's cameras everywhere and blah, blah, blah. You know,
that got to be the worst.
That has to be very tedious. Like to not be able to go to the movies with your boo, you know?
Man.
Gosh, yeah. So yeah. All right, so Micah, talk about this.
Her name is Alana Glaser.
I love how you were just prepared for me there.
Yes, her name is Alana Glaser. I hope I'm saying it right. I just watched this stand up. Yay!
Gave her $1.
She gave me $1. She
Here's a card
is
for air conditioning and heating. You can have that.
She did a stand up on Amazon Prime. And if you have Prime, you have Prime Live, by the way, and Prime Videos and Prime TV. It's amazing. Just another way to get hooked on another show. But I saw her stand up. Now, mind you, I was sick. I'm just looking for something that just make me feel better. So it comes up. Huh?
Show me her. Why are you talking?
She has curly hair. It's red. She had on shorts and a green shirt. Very chill. Great legs. She had a nice little build.
Little situation, you know.
Yeah, she had a nice little build. This is her.
She had a nice little build.
She played off of this show called Broad City. Do you watch Broad City? I heard it's a good show.
Yes,
It's her?
I was watching it. Yeah, she's hilarious.
She's funny. Okay,
I was like, that sounds familiar.
watch her too.
Yes,
can't
All right, so
she's hilarious. She's hilarious.
one of the things that she touched on, she's Jewish, and I know the Jewish people that I've come in contact with in my life, they're very like tight-knit communities. They go to school together. They go to Jew school. Like they literally like learn Hebrew, and they pray, and they do all the rituals, and they learn everything about their culture, everything about their religion. Everything is always Jew. Saturdays, they do not
breathe. Hold your hands up.
Right.
They do not walk. They do not work. They do not drive. They do not work.
She'd be like, yes. I love her. She's funny.
Nazareth.
Take a moment.
It's okay. Let me sing a song.
Okay.
Christmas time is oh no, New Year. Whoa. Cutting bitches off when the ball drops. New Year, get it? Hating bitches ain't happy. Happy bitches ain't hating.
This is the turn up hour.
Better check the situation. I can change the situation.
All right.
Poor baby.
Okay.
So
Insane.
she basically was talking about how she went to Jew school when she was younger. This is what got my attention, because I always have the conversation with African American, African descent, Negro, colored, whatever you want to classify yourself as. I have these conversations with these parents on when and how you should discuss slavery. So that is when, what age, and how brutal. Do they watch Roots off rip? You know, do we go to the movie theater like my mom took me at 10 to watch Amistad? Like, what do we do, right? And I've also said in previous episodes that I blame our grandparents for not telling us the gruesome parts of slavery, to prepare us for, or to make us understand where we are today versus where we were then. Like, we're not getting whipped, and we're not getting chased and hosed down, and German shepherds aren't chewing our legs and arms off. You know what I'm saying? So we have come a long way, but for them to spare us the details, I wonder that affect us negatively, for us giving reverence to our past and slavery and all that. Now, this Jewish woman said when she would go to school, they would talk about the Holocaust in depth. They would show pictures of dead people and random shoes, because it was the gas chambers and like the bodies just disintegrated and there was only shoes left, and the concentration camps, and then the gates, and then just very gruesome things. And the teacher ends the lesson, never forget. And so she's like, how can I? I'm 6. And then I'm like, 6? Like, and then you're thinking about all the horror movies you've ever watched, like as an adult today, and how you can't go to sleep that night because something freaked you out, and it's just like, how do I go to sleep? But that's me. But you just think about the horrible things. So it could be spirits for some people, like demons and angels and ghosts and things like that kind of just really creep you out. But the fact that They learned that when she was 6, and then they expounded on that. So
when she turned 7, right?
Yeah. So 2 years later, second, third grade, they do a skit on the Holocaust, but it's called How to Escape the Holocaust. So now you have to literally come up with a skit, you and your classmates, to escape the Nazis. So you go back to your Anne Frank diary. You reading up on what she did. You in the attic. You in a basement. You in a cupboard. Like, you think about all these kind of ways to blend in and to not make a sound through the day, because if they hear anything, your cover's blown. So after they do the skit, the ending skit is the Nazis bust through the door and all the Jews scream. Ah! So then the teacher's clapping. And you thought you escaped. Like, it's a joke. So, like, it's continuing, because even the ones that thought that they got away, they were taken into concentration camps. So I called Leah, and basically what I wanted to kind of bring to the forefront is the Holocaust was 100 years. A little bit over 100 years, or just at 100 years. Slavery was 4. And horrible, I always say, do not compare oppressions, because some horrible things happen to people based on their faith and what they look like. And I think Jews and Negroes were the top 2 people that were shamed because of what they look like. Jews are always depicted with huge noses and like curly hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always see that depiction of a Jew, but you also see the wide noses, the monkey lips, like the whole, like it's a physical depiction for both Negroes and Jews. So we feel the physical oppression as much as we feel us being who we are, as, you know, they're the Jews and we're the blacks. You get it. So we understand each other. But black people do not talk about slavery freely, and grandparents don't go deep in lessons on what happened when granddaddy took too long to come back and he never came back, or grandma slipped away and came back limping. Like, they don't talk about the horrible things that happened to them. But the Jews don't want you to ever forget what happened. And I think their people have a stronger connection with their history and their present because of it. And I know that a 6-year-old, it does sound, and it's a bit much, but I think for the trajectory of that child's life, they need to understand that this is where we started, but this is not how we're finishing. This is where despair happened, and this is how we rose from it. Like, I think it's always like kind of like a silver lining for them in a sense, because if you think, the Jewish community is the strongest community. It's the most together community. Their dollar circulates 17 times before it leaves the Jewish community. 17 times. It takes an hour for $1 in the black community to leave that bit. An hour. And it takes 17 for them. Mind you, they still are white. I cannot not say that. But I'm just saying, like, the pride that they have in who they are, based on a horrible thing that happened to them. I think their pride level is different and much stronger because they were told everything and not, you know.
So it's something to, when she called me and told me about it, I was like, you know, there is something to say about, because she said the comedian went on to say, and Jews usually are predicted as having a lot of money. She's like, because they're very frugal. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we're the most frugal person. We can hold on to $1 forever. But I mean, everybody jokes like, I want a Jewish lawyer, or I want somebody Jewish to run my finances. Like, it's one of those stereotypes that Jews are just really good at stuff like that. So that, to me, I have a 7-year-old now, and we had this discussion on one of the previous podcast episodes about when to share this, you know, the gruesome things that happened in slavery with my kid. And I was like, my mom let me see Roots. I saw Amistad eventually, but I saw Roots first, and I was like, this shit is wild. And I saw that when I was about 6. I was in Detroit still at the time. And so I don't remember being traumatized or anything, but I definitely remember it. Yeah. And I remember thinking, wow. And we discussed, like, how am I, going to show this to Mia? My sister's 13. And I was like, she kind of needs to see it too. So now in knowing that Jewish people apparently do this to their kids all the time, and they make them reenact these moments and all that, it's just like
in school
they'll
too.
live.
They'll live. They really
live.
will.
And then the sense of pride, I guess, that does kind of surround what we've overcome as a people. I always say, I when it came to me feeling a certain kind of way about like Black African Americans versus like island African Americans or whatever the case, or Africans or Black people, island Black people, is that it was just like, man, Americans are so spoiled. Like, they just don't get it. Like, you don't know how hard it is in Jamaica. I got all these cousins that would literally marry a fucking stranger probably to get a visa to come here. And you niggas up here just wasting it, whatever the case may be. But things like this would have helped that, I think, if they really knew like how rough slavery was. Like, just see a couple pictures of the Middle Passage, you know what I mean? See them just throwing bodies, just the shit that Black people went through. I truly feel like it would make, we've talked about this, like I said in the last one, make them appreciate what the fuck we've gone through, and maybe not make us so willing to just waste our fucking lives in many instances, you know what I mean? Because we already have it so fucked up where the privilege is already weird. Black people are automatically targets for this and that. We do have a shittier end of the stick.
We do.
But then we don't even understand how lucky we are to at least have come as far as we are now, and to take advantage of the privileges that we do have, the opportunities that we do have. I think for people that, for anyone wanting to see us still in a bad situation, our ignorance makes that so much easier.
So much.
For anyone wanting to constantly still suppress Black people or to still keep us in our place, if you will, our ignorance about our past makes that shit a million times easier. Like, I know a lot of you, anyone listening, may have heard that thing where some white man, I don't know from where, was just like, if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. And it's just like, it's unfortunately, it's kind of fucking true, you know what I mean, if you put it in that way, because they don't even try, you know. And then who do we blame it on? Because what the lady said was they went to Jewish school, so we don't have like Black school. What would we call it? We don't.
But and I also say, I said I can't not say that they're white. You know, they are white. And so they are afforded the luxuries because their oppression was praised. Right? It was like a 9/11. Never forget. Oh God, the Holocaust was so gruesome for the Jews. Oh God, let's give them whatever they want. Like, they're giving reparations to Jews. If you're Jewish, you can go to Israel for free.
Yeah.
Can we go to Africa for free? No, we can't. So, and they can get ancestry for free. Like, it's just things that, because we're Black, we're not afforded. So yes, I understand that it would be difficult to kind of like school all of us and house us in the Black school. Like, they wouldn't dare give us a Black school. That's too much for us, right? Because that means what we were in 1940, that can be again. And that was too terrifyingly close to the economy that we don't want to see. We don't want an equal economy. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. But what I think Black people can do,
read a book.
You can try to build schools. LeBron James, I fuck with you, bro. Build that school. You can try to build school, and I know Umar Johnson is trying to build a school. He had been going about it the wrong way. I think the self-righteous way, although he's very knowledgeable and he knows a lot of things, psychiatrist, whatever. It's just the way you gotta talk to white people to get stuff. I'm sorry. It's just the way.
He does have a very...
He does.
Which I understand.
Have a way. And I understand.
We get it.
So you do things, you raise the money, and you get it yourself if nobody's gonna give it to you.
Do it. He's taking the long route.
Exactly.
But okay.
Exactly.
I respect him.
So my thing is, it comes from the small, intricate families that we have. You know what I'm saying? It's the all Black daycares you take your child to. It's the all Black schools that your child may go to with a hint of white or whatever. Yes, history lessons have condensed slavery down to a chapter. It used to be a few chapters. Now it was one, and now it's a paragraph. It happened. It's over. We moved on. New world. Like, that's just kind of how it goes. So what I would say is, like I said, it was grandma's fault, but it's our responsibility to put it on the kids that we know and the cousins we know, and to have these type of conversations. Like, what do you know about slavery?
And
just random
what
stuff.
I'm thinking about now, because I've gone to school in 2 different countries. I've gone to school here and I've gone to school in Jamaica. And in Jamaica, Christopher Columbus, I don't know what it is now, but when I was in primary school, Granger Primary, big up yourself. When I was there, Christopher Columbus was still praised as, Christopher Columbus. And yes, Marcus Garvey, we have, national heroes in Jamaica that we rep for, but I don't remember slavery being a huge topic there either. You know what I mean?
Because it's not an outside of America thing, because it was most prevalent here and the worst of it happened here. Yes, Jamaica got some of it. Haiti got some of it. Dominican Republic got some of it. All these other islands got some of it, but they didn't get the worst of it. It's almost
but even still, I feel like it's
not a part. It's not a huge part of y'all history.
It's important enough. I mean,
I agree.
The Arawak Indians, the black people got dropped off, and then you know it trickled all the way down. You get people like my aunties, and
like I get it.
Yeah. So but it's like the bottom line is it happened. Where even if it wasn't as hard as it was here, it's just like I don't know. Maybe anybody that's Haitian, tell me if it was something that discussed, because you guys took your freedom, right?
Is
it talked about and is it praised in a bigger way in Haiti than it is anywhere else? Because I can only speak on education in 2 different countries. In America here, we just give it a little, like Micah said, a little dot. And in Jamaica, it wasn't talked about that much there either. So it's just like, okay. But then Jewish people just Jewish people here just make sure we send all our kids to Jew schools, so we just know
everywhere they make sure
about,
that it's yes.
So then to me that means it's on us, it's on Jamaicans, and it's on Haitians, and it's on anywhere that does have black people to talk about the fact that once upon a time they used to really fuck us up.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. And the 2 places I've gone to school, neither one shine that much light on it,
but
made it as
you're right. But think about Caribbeans and Americans; they already separate themselves, right? And I know slavery is slavery. Slavery started in the Middle Passage, and they just dropped people off in different places, or whatever. But I think because the separation is so real between Haitians, Virgin Islands, Guyana, Jamaica, that I'm not Black American. I am a Virgin Island resident. I am Jamaican. I am Haitian. I'm not a part of your history. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talk to people who are from the island, they rep the island hard. None of that has to do with Black American history, although we were all dropped off. Slavery is how we all started. If that's the case, where all those populations grew, but they don't even acknowledge that part. I know,
but that they don't have to in that part. If they in Jamaica right now and they're just there, we know that it happened there. Jamaicans who've never been here have nothing to do with it here. I don't think they even. I think my point is I think they're just as ignorant as Americans are here when it comes to it. For Americans that just don't know, and then again, I guess the difference I give it is, because maybe Jamaicans do have it hard down there. The ones that grew up down there and aren't as fortunate, like I said, as motherfuckers still walk around with no shoes. When they have these type of situations, they appreciate more because they have less. So fine. So maybe that's why it doesn't appear like they're just wasting all the opportunities given to them, because in many cases there aren't many opportunities given to them. When you go to school, you gotta pay for that shit. Like, none of that shit is free. It's very hard down there. So I guess it does trickle back to us here.
Yeah, and we know about everywhere. We know about everybody everywhere. Yeah. Everybody don't know about us, like about the ins and outs of us. We learned your history, for heaven's sakes. I know what happened in Haiti, and I'm American. You feel me? Like, I know when your Independence Day is. Like, I know everything about everybody in the world. You know what I'm saying?
But you learned that. I learned that shit on my own. I learned about Jamaicans.
World history.
And I learned about Haiti.
But Americans are taught world history. Yeah. We study third world countries. Mm-hmm. You're mentioned, at least. We may not know your state bird or your fruit or your dish. Whatever. You feel me? But we know enough to know that we have it better than you, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So I think that whole prestige about us being in America and knowing more about other people than people know about us, that's when it comes back to us being, you know, kind of like privileged Americans type thing. So when I think about Jamaicans and Haitians and Virgin Islands, blah, 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 you rep so hard for your country because that's all you know. And that's all you were taught. You know your state song or your country song or your capital song or however that goes. And I don't know. It's just the culture and everything is just more tight knit. Everything is more ingrained inside of you. So I think learning anything else is like a disgrace to your own.
What Carlin said, he said, in the island, it's all black now, so maybe that's why they don't talk about it as much.
True. And don't y'all have prime minister? Where is that? Is that in Jamaica or Haiti?
Yeah. I don't know Haiti, but Jamaica has prime minister.
And they've been black, right?
Yeah.
So y'all have had prominent leaders who've looked like you.
Black people, Jamaica is having like an Asian takeover to some extent. Yeah. So we're having quite a problem with the Asians. But yes,
they're like taking over territory after territory.
Yeah, they're taking like everything. They own like damn near all the hotels. When I was down there, my ex's dad though, he's a lawyer down there, and when I went for Carnival last year, he said it's not that way. He was just like, yeah, they are, but they're buying these things, they're taking them over, and then they're selling them back to Jamaicans. It's not. He's saying that's what they're doing. So I don't know. Maybe in the lawyer world. True. Yeah, me too. And he's a very prominent lawyer. It's a nice old man. He's like, no, it's not. It's not as dramatic as they're making it seem. They actually are doing this and then selling them back to people. So it's like, oh, it's
they just want to own it.
And then they own some things like the new highway. There's a highway that's in Jamaica that apparently is a little pricey, and because it's like converted to our money, it's like $8 to like get on that bitch. Who the fuck finna take turn back $8? So it's like that, and it's owned by the Asians. It's owned by Asians.
So my thing is, so the Asians that are there now are Jamaicans.
Say it again.
The Asians that live there now are the Asians that live in Jamaica right now.
Yeah,
are Jamaicans, right?
Yeah, because I mean, they've been here for quite some time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got a little bit in you too. So like that's kind of like your melting pot essentially. Mm-hmm. Asians were there, you and Indians, right? Mm-hmm. That's the thing.
No, Asians weren't there off rip. It was Indians.
No, I'm not saying off rip, but I'm saying the migration, things, people coming over, whatever. So these are not like Asians who know nothing about the country coming in.
No, from my understanding, that's what it is. It's just a very wealthy man in like fucking Tokyo somewhere. That's just like, oh my gosh, Jamaica's great. It's a nice piece of property. I have all this money. Let me do it. And then in some regards, it's even more fucked up than even that. It's like, you're the prime minister. So what I'll do is, okay, if you give me this piece of land for this amount of price, I'll pay for the land, and then I'll set you up, because you can't be prime minister forever. So I'll also set you up and give you a couple, whatever. Like, remember, Jamaican currency is different. Mm-hmm. So literally like $8.9 million. Which are probably like a couple $100,000 here, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So they're doing under the table backdoor ass deals like that too, and then that's what's fucking Jamaica up as well. Aside from selling this big ass piece of land that could be used, and true, it'll bring tourism and all that, but the tourism dollars, it essentially help the little old man that sells coconuts outside the hotel.
Because he'll get more
stuff like
work.
That,
okay.
Yeah, stuff like that. So, and then it gives Jamaicans jobs because they work at these hotels. But ultimately, the whole thing is ownership, and it's owned by some Asian man that lives elsewhere. And then because you're a fucked up prime minister and I give you $40 million under the table, you just let me get away buying some shit I probably shouldn't be able to buy, or some shit you should have or even if I had a deal with you, I'm Jamaican and I was gonna buy it, you sell it.
Because the price was better.
You sell it to them because they also gave you money on your own that's off the books that you don't have to account for. You get what I'm saying? You gave me some back, or pay for a house. Like Dr. Umar Johnson, he commented on it, and after he did, I went and looked it up, and I was like mind blown. And he specifically talked about Jamaica. He was like, it's really fucked up. Carlin is saying the Asians taking over the entire West Indies, almost every island. So I don't know. And then you think about it, I mean, they gotta have money. Shit, they make damn near every motherfucking thing. So they over there just snatching shit up.
That's the minority we need to be looking out for. Not worried about us.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, I when I heard that, I was pretty sad. And then I vowed to buy a hotel in Jamaica, or like buy land and build a hotel. So grandiose deal. Maybe buy like 50, like 42. I'm gonna aim for that age. Me and Carla, we're gonna build a hotel in Haiti and in Jamaica. Stay tuned, Carla. We're gonna do it. But yeah. So to trickle it all the way back to go back to what we were saying. We digress. It's
if we should.
That was great. Yeah, that was a really good point. And in doing that, she opened a black's eye, which is Micah's. She opened her eye and she's passed it on to me, and hopefully now we've passed it on to you. Just something to think about. It's like maybe we're going about this shit all wrong. Yeah, like we're going about this shit all wrong.
We're being too soft, and the Holocaust was horrible, but slavery was 400 years horrible.
Yeah,
and I will never compare.
Micah, when she said to me on the phone, she's like, "So we got to break our shit up in what?
Hundreds.
We got to break our shit up.
We got to break it up in hundreds to them, and then shit. When they get 6, we break down the first 100, and that's the passage. That's how we got here. That's the Africans turning against other Africans and whatever, and how that possible beef could have stemmed from why we feel the way we feel about Africans now. Like, let's just break it up, because it got better the year 345 to 400, it was better. So I'd say 65 of them years was Araminta Ross, Harriet Tubman type good, because her people was free.
Right.
Her husband was free. She wasn't. But on her mom's 45th birthday, the slave master was supposed to let her mom go. He said, "You will never be free."
Wow.
He changed his mind on her birthday. And that's when
those whites.
Harriet Tubman was like, "I gotta go.
I had enough of this shit." Right.
I gotta go. Like, he said, "You and your whole family be free when you turn 45. He was praying that she was gonna die.
Right.
But they were the best slaves to that family. Like, my thing is, they masters grew a liking to these people, like pets, like things, a part of their family. Like, Aquaman is to me, like Bella is to Paige, like Teddy could be to Leah, And then you think about giving them their freedom, and it's like, I like when I come home and you run to me. I like how that feels. I don't want to let that go, so I'm not letting you go. But I'm a human being. I shouldn't even been yours to keep in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So and then I think that'll be a good analogy to say to your son or your daughter at that young age. Baby, think of something that has a mom already. Right? You find him, you make him better because his leg was hurt, you nurse him to health, he's good. You walk outside and all of a sudden he starts chirping for his mom. And you walk back in the house. What type of person are you? Well, I want him for myself because he's mine and I found him and I made him better. But he has a mom. I was connected like that to animals. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can use the logic of a child to explain slavery. It does not have to be, if you don't know how to do cutthroat, shit, put on Amistad. But I'm just saying, if you're not ready for that, because I talked to a guy on Facebook. He was like, my kids are 8 and 9. They're entirely too young. Sir, they shot a 9-year-old for having a plastic gun. At what point do y'all stop saying, black kids are not the norm? Get over it.
To me, I feel like
we're not.
I will show it to me like that, and we just talk about it, because I can see Mia probably seeing that shit, like, and thinking like,
this is not real.
Yes. Yeah, literally, like, this is what kind of what story is this? This is a terrible
movie
story.
Is this?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, this really happened, and she's gonna be like, okay, when? Like, when? You know, like, Mia's gonna be like, so
they just took people.
Yeah, they just really just took. They just really just took people.
They threw her over the boat, mommy.
Like, just really. So nobody has on clothes. Like, they were all on top of each other like that. Like, to me, I can see, and so maybe. And for me, this is the approach I'm going to take with my kid. I literally just decided that in this conversation. That I'm going to show it to her that way, because I almost kind of need to shell shock her into realizing this is really how ridiculous it was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? How crazy it was. And then just kind of see where she goes.
Where she goes with that, yeah.
Yeah, because
let them lead.
They're going to literally think, I can see them thinking, almost kind of like, are we making this more dramatic than it is? And I was like, actually, it's probably way worse than this is even depicting it. So let me just give you this version of it.
And if you want to be funny, watch Django. It still has Mandingo fighting. It still has when a runaway slave gets caught, they get put in a heat box under the sun, burnt.
Yeah.
So they still have very strong parts in Django, although it's funny. If you need a little bit of lightness, you know, watch Django.
But I think,
and he's real. He was the first cowboy.
That's beautiful. There's definitely something to be said about us as Black people and the Black people that we're creating. You know what I mean? Like what I said on the episode of me and you and Carlum, it was just like I'm very concerned about the adult that I'm creating, right? And the person that my daughter's gonna be in her generation. What generation is she? Is she?
Oh God, she's like, is
it a Y?
Y.
We're millennials.
Y. I think it's Y.
That's nice.
How old is she?
She's 7.
No idea.
I know. But I'm worried about their generation, you know, and it's up to us, you know, whatever it is that we blame on our parents and what they didn't do and whatever generation, what kind of people are we making? What kind of adults?
Z.
Oh. Is that the last generation ever?
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
The way 2020 approached,
1995, 2019.
That's cute. She's right in the middle of that. She's 12, 2012. All right, so yeah, I'm thoroughly
ages 0 to 24.
I'm thoroughly concerned. Oh, it's a
which
Bree.
is only 25% of the population.
Bree, that bad boy. So
Bree's in there.
Heavy users of mobile internet access at a young age, similar to Generation X. Their parents are in financial attitudes, but wanting to avoid debt after seeing millennials struggle.
And I want to avoid that after seeing my mom struggle.
We avoided debt, but we gained it back because of how much we got educated as millennials. We have the highest debt, educational debt,
makes sense,
in history.
I am
so because of that, they're gonna be like
right up in there.
They're gonna be like,
fucking master's degree tried to kill me.
When I go to school, no nigga, you going to school?
yeah.
But
or create or devise a plan.
Yeah, we just gonna figure it out.
It's just a cycle, man. Just be mindful of your kids and the kids that you're making.
Yeah.
I implore everybody who just makes careless fucking decisions with themselves. Your children are watching. My God, they don't have to be,
and they hear what you're saying too.
Yes, like they don't have to be, and that's what I feel so bad. I always say, like, I wish motherfuckers had to take tests before they reproduce, because it's just like some of the most fucked up people have children because it's like our natural.
That's what we do. That's what our bodies do.
That's what we're supposed to do. That's what all this fucking is for. And it's like, man. And then there's so many people who can't have kids. That would probably be really good fucking parents.
Have you seen The Adoption Story? It's a movie with
all I remember is like Saving Isaiah.
It's a white man. White man. You know, it's so hard to explain him. What is his name? Basically, it was a story about adopting. They were like late 40s. And it was like, well, we're not getting any younger. Let's adopt a family. And so they adopted the family. And then the girl asked them, so why'd you adopt me in the first place? And it was like, well, like it's a comedy. But in all actuality, it says like you have to go through the test. The court has to come check you out. Like they got to see what the house is like. You have to take some type of therapy session for like mental things, blah, 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 because you're about to take on a whole lot of stuff. I wish how rigorous it is to get a kid, it is to have one.
Truly.
Yeah, because they go ham. I wish there was some tests happening. I really do.
I wish there was some scoring processes. I wish there was some type of scoring process or something, because the shit is just sad. And then I guess for every Black person listening that does have children, that's something that you should think about if you didn't think about it on the last time we talked about it. When are you going to share the whole slave story with your children? When are you going to tell them what the fuck they used to do?
Because you need to
us. Yeah, have you ever thought about it, for one? Because yes, it is a very hard conversation. We talked about that. But I mean, it clearly needs to happen. The Jewish people apparently have whole fucking schools where they make their kids reenact the shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're privileged to do that. So I don't want you to be like, well, they're Jewish and they're allotted to have schools. Yes, you are right. But I think they chose to build their own schools. I think they chose to say, you know what, this is very important for our people, our culture, our religion. We got to do it. So they did it.
Yeah.
And because they are fair skinned, it was easier for them to obtain the capital. That's just kind of how it goes. You know what I'm saying? And because people feel worse for Jews and what they went through, they get things a little easier.
Right.
I'm
You
sorry
said they
that's
were given reparations and all that.
They were given, yeah.
We still waiting on
And
these mules.
we weren't. So yes, they have the glorified oppressor light, I suppose. Like, they look at the Holocaust and they're like shocked and appalled and can't even breathe that humans ever did that to them. But unfortunately, we don't have the same light shining upon us, so we have to create the light.
Yes, and all you really need is your knowledge of it and being willing to talk to your kid about it. And Google is your friend. You could find numerous ways or stories or examples of things that take place. We kind of have, and I'll say we because I'm a parent too, we kind of have no excuse because no, we weren't afforded the schools and we don't have the privilege to do that.
Right.
But anything at all I want to figure out, I'll Google it. So I can do the same thing for my child when it comes to teaching her whatever whatever it is I want her to know. So I think that kind of applies for us. If we do create piss poor humans or adults in a couple years from now, we are the ones to blame for this. The same way Micah blames grandmas now, and grandmas and grandpas, if for whatever reason you're listening to this podcast, you still fall in that category too. You know, teach your kids something. I ain't saying it hurts and it's sad, but it's like, you know, it doesn't spare the rod, spoil the child. It's that type of situation.
And if anything, watch Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors has 4 volumes now. Umar Johnson is in the first 3. He fell out with the other one for 4. But it's historians, y'all, and it's so much history. I'm gonna make Leah watch it this weekend with me. She doesn't know it. Now she knows. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it is a historical breakdown of the first Moors up until now. So each volume is different. And it doesn't just concentrate on slavery and whooping niggas and whatever. It literally gives the background of where Moors originated from. Where do we settle? Where do we go first? Where do we travel before we stop? And I wrote down everything so that you can go Google and find 2 or 3 sources to match this information. They're not giving you this so you could just be like, you know what? I believe them because they're black. No. They want you to do the research because it's out there. They're not hiding it from us. We're not looking. So Hidden Colors, there's volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And sometimes they have live viewings of Hidden Colors. Umar used to be a part of that thing, but he fell out with the other guy who was a part of it. But that's a really good way for you to gain knowledge about what's going on without such a dark cloud over whatever. Like, it gives you some very powerful information about where we were before slavery started and where we ended up now, you know? So that's another thing that y'all can look up.
All right. I think that's a good 2020 thing too. I think I'm always very intentional with my child, but I'm going to be, I think I'm going to make this a year where we talk about some of the unfortunate stuff. Because it's time to kind of introduce it to my kid, and I think this will it'll be tough, but it's just needed because I'm so worried again, like I said, about the adult that I make, and I think this will help gauge my little boom boom in the right way. All right, we can finish up on a light note. It's a hilarious note, and I sent it to Carlum and Micah, because we had a whole discussion about this. Angel Jones and Little Fizz are not following each other anymore. I think they might have broke up or something, y'all.
I'm about to start wheezing.
Don't wheeze, please. Carlum said he gave him to the summer, and clearly the summer has passed. Or the summer's not here yet, so they lost. Or Carlum won his bet, I guess. I don't know how gambling works, but does that mean he would have got more or something? I don't know. I think that's sad. I was saying that they were gonna make it because they have to at this point. They didn't cause all this fucking ruckus.
Poor girl.
Yeah, so poor April.
Poor
and
girl.
Fizz. I hope y'all figure it out. Yeah. And then I guess we have to talk about this World War III situation. Trump, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of what I understand. Trump basically made a decision to bomb some shit. He did not get the approvals that he's supposed to get. Yes, he is a commander-in-chief, but from my understanding, he does still have people that would say, yes, this is a good decision to do. I agree you should do this. He was just like, fuck it, I'm going to just do it. And he did it. He didn't kill somebody that apparently, I think President Obama had the opportunity to kill once upon a time, but chose not to because it would just start some shit. So whatever. And apparently he is a bad guy, I guess. And he's supposed to go. Don't quote me on any of this. I'm not sure. All I know for a fact is that he did some shit he was not supposed to do because no one that should have agreed with him told him to do it. And now there's drama, like it's problems. People are throwing out World War III. The funny part of it, which a lot of it isn't, because I'm seeing a lot of soldiers being deployed, but it's like everyone's like, damn, it's day 3, because day 3 is when we wake up, January 3rd, and now fucking World War III is trending. Like, what the fuck? So oh gosh, I just implore you guys to just look up and see what the fuck this man did. I did see a few posts. Apparently what I saw today is that there's an $80 million bounty on his head. I was just like, Jesus of Nazareth. This thing is just really escalating to another level, and I don't know the specifics of it, but this shit is
So he had
wild.
to pull a power move because we pulled a power move.
It's just such a poor power move.
Definitely.
Wow, Trump.
We gave him fuel to his fire when the American people and the people in office impeached this nigga, and it actually went through. Like, that was a gut punch to his pride, agenda, and who he thought he was. So he basically, unfortunately, I don't think he's a smart man, and he's doing this to spite America. And I don't think he cares what the outcome is going to be.
He definitely.
Personally,
definitely
he knows it's not going. You know, people who say the war ain't got shit to do with me. You know what I'm saying?
His logic.
I think his logic is this has shit to do with me. I can fly wherever the F I want to be away from the White House. Blow the White House up. I ain't going to be in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he does feel and act and move like he's above. But this is just like the American people who are sitting in Wisconsin knowing ain't nobody going to blow nothing up in Wisconsin. They ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, New York put something out yesterday saying that they're worried because obviously
but that's what I'm saying.
It had been a victim of
and that's why I said Wisconsin, Kansas. You feel me?
Shout out to
shit.
Cincinnati.
What is other cities that may Oregon? It's certain places that may not be affected. May not be affected at all. And these are the people that they're sitting behind their couch in fear, but they know deep down, I'm not going to be affected personally. Not personally. America's going to be in a messed up situation, but not me.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that our commander-in-chief, as he is called, has decided to make such a decision without the approval of anyone that he has in place to give him approval for these things. But I implore you guys to Google it, see what the fuck he did and what's going on now. The people over yonder are pissed off, and they just keep saying we will retaliate. But we will when we're ready, whatever the fuck that means. So I do know there's a lot of people being deployed, and that to me is very sad. Somebody that I know, he lives in Tampa, and he said his neighbor came. I was on the phone with him tonight. His neighbor came, and it's because they're being deployed tomorrow because of this shit. So I was just like, that's crazy.
We should call Panancy.
Oh, we should, and see if she has to be.
I'm texting Panancy.
Yeah. So Shout out to all the soldiers that have to be deployed because of this bullshit. For everyone that's over there right now, our prayers are with you. We are very sorry. I did not vote for this man. I don't understand who did and why, but here we are. So, hopefully somehow we resolve this in a calm way. But I don't know. My mom watches a lot of MSNBC, and so my TV in my living room is constantly on that, and that's all we hear about. So, anyway. Happy 2020 to everybody. Thank you guys for coming to the new year with us and listening to stuff and all that. Visit us at letutsaitforyou.com. Visit us at Let It Say It For You on IG. Let It Say It For You on Twitter, just to you. And Let It Say It For You on YouTube. Micah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're better by next week.
I shall be.
Right?
This is the last day of this crap.
I hope so. I was sick about 2 weeks ago, but I'm over it. I left it in 2019, so. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you. Have a great day or evening or night or whatever time.
We out.
We're out of here. Have a great time. Thank you. Oh, Bethy Pooh.